Dr. Bradshaw. He is running for Missouri Lieutenant Governor. He is a doctor as well as a lawyer. And when he announced his campaign, his major theme is he wants to legalize medical marijuana. Dr. Bradshaw, welcome to Big 550 KTRS.
Thank you very much.
Lieutenant Governor has almost no power. So why do you want to run for Lieutenant Governor and yet have such a strong stance to change the state?
Well, this is power. It's power to the people to make some changes. And first of all, I want to thank you for having me on the show this morning to discuss my medical marijuana proposal.
Yeah.
It is one of the key things in my policy, but really it's more than that. It's a very simple proposal.
Doctor.
Okay.
We got to start for a second.
Okay.
Put your notes away.
Okay.
Put your notes away. Let's start over again. You know this stuff backwards and forwards.
That's true.
Right?
Yes.
Let's just have a conversation.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, good. Why do you want to legalize marijuana? Or what do you want to do with marijuana?
Well, there's several reasons. One, from a scientific standpoint, medical marijuana is clearly beneficial to patients with a subset of illnesses. There are people with cancer, there are people with multiple sclerosis, ALS, other diseases that can benefit from this. Mm-hmm. Certainly patients, and there's studies that actually show this. There's anecdotal evidence. I mean, people I've talked to across the state, one gentleman in particular who was suffering from terminal cancer until he passed away, said several years ago, almost 5 years ago, while undergoing the initial chemotherapy treatment, he was about my height, about 5'10", went down to almost 100 pounds, was holding down no food, was vomiting, had no appetite, started smoking marijuana illegally, got his appetite back, started gaining weight. He was able to get through the chemotherapy. He has no doubt but what he would have been dead. So there are patients that benefit. So I think scientifically we need to acknowledge that. More importantly, I think, or just as importantly, is this is inevitable. And I say it's inevitable because our entire west coast of the United States has medical marijuana or recreational legal. The entire northern border of Canada is going to have marijuana legal in the entire nation of Canada because the Liberal Party just took over for the first time in about 30 years. So the entire northern border is going to have legal marijuana. Mexico is now looking at, potentially before the end of the year, legalizing marijuana throughout the state, throughout the nation of Mexico. Missouri can either be behind the curve or the head of the curve.
All right, let's get a couple of things here. People say it's a gateway drug.
It doesn't have to be, and it shouldn't be. I think there are, and I think that's one of the misnomers. People that push recreational marijuana, they say it doesn't have any harm or any negative effects. That's not entirely true. There are some studies coming out that show there are some potential harms from marijuana use, particularly chronic long-term abuse, and there's even some forms of cancer that it's still theoretical at this point. They need more studies, but I think for people to say that recreational marijuana does not cause any harm, it's not fair for them to say that. So that's why I think only in a limited manner using it as, and we have this amendment has very strict requirements.
If you legalize it for medical purposes, it will be abused recreationally, just like all the other drugs, like all the opiates that are out there, right? They're all for prescription only, but they're being abused for recreation.
Well, there are certainly any kind of drugs, anything in society. Cars are abused. People speed. People get in wrecks. Guns. I mean, guns. Should we take everybody's guns away from them? I don't think so. But why are we? If there is a drug out there that truly benefits patients, and why should we not make that legal under very strict requirements? But I think we're missing the big picture here. The big picture, and the reasons I'm behind this is I want Missouri to get ahead of the curve on something that's going to be inevitable and use that tax revenue to develop a first-class, world-renowned medical research institute in the state of Missouri to help find cures for incurable diseases such as cancer, ALS, Alzheimer's, and others. We can find these cures, but there needs to be a paradigm shift in the way we're doing research in the United States, and Missouri can lead the way.
You're running for lieutenant governor, and yet you're also trying to put this on the ballot?
That's correct.
All right. Explain to me why not. Why are you splitting your energies? Why not do one or the other?
Well, I don't see it so much as splitting my energies as combining the energies for even more energy. Mm-hmm. The lieutenant governor in the state of Missouri sits on many commissions. Almost half of those are medically related. In some states, what the lieutenant governor does in Missouri would actually be given to the surgeon general. Some states actually have a surgeon general. We don't. Mm-hmm. We lop that all over into the lieutenant governor's job. So it really falls hand in hand with what the lieutenant governor should do. And unfortunately, the lieutenant governor in the state of Missouri for the past several decades has been basically a do-nothing job, a ceremonial post. I'm saying we can do something positive, not only get ahead of the curve on the legalization of medical marijuana, but I'm saying this will create this. If you see our economic impact study, which has been released in some circles and will be out to the general public soon, this will create thousands of new jobs in the state of Missouri. It will propel Missouri to the forefront of being one of the medical research leaders. And we have
Why?
Why what?
Why would legalizing medical marijuana create a whole bunch of jobs?
Because the proposal we have takes all of the tax revenue and goes all for medical research for incurable diseases.
But if you tax this higher than I can buy it on the corner for, why would I buy it through a doctor? Why wouldn't I just continue to buy it on the corner?
Well, that's one of the things that the recreational marijuana people are trying to push and that's not true. The actual tax per dose is at or less than $1 per dose, the full tax. And so I think there are people out there, actually what's ironic is the biggest obstacle we've had to the legalization of medical marijuana and using it for medical research have been people who want recreational marijuana. They want recreational, they want it for essentially free, and they just want people out of their way. They don't like this because it does put a tax on it and it uses it for positive things.
Dr. Bradshaw, you're a doctor and a lawyer running for lieutenant governor. When was the last time you smoked marijuana?
About 30 years ago.
30 years ago?
Yes.
All right. So, okay. Anyone in your family need medical marijuana?
No, but my mom has said that she asked, can people make money cultivating it? Who's going to cultivate it? And I told her I don't think that's probably something she wants to undertake.
All right, fair enough. Dr. Bradshaw, do you have a website for people to find out more about you?
Yes, you go to bradshawformissouri.com for the lieutenant governor's office, or you can go to GOMO.vote for the legalization of medical marijuana. And I just one last thing if I can throw in. When I started medical school over 30 years ago, the only way to really cure cancer was with what we said cold hard steel, a scalpel. It's the same today, and that's wrong. We've gone over 30 years, and there's no real efficient cure for cancer yet. There needs to be a paradigm shift. We need a Manhattan Project type facility, and we can start that right here.
And then you're saying that would be funded by the medical marijuana.
I'm saying the seed money. And that's the other thing. We don't have time to get into that now,
right.
But talk to any research analyst. They say the seed money is what's important. And lastly, the big difference here is any cures will be owned by the state of Missouri. This will generate profits down the road to the potential of billions of dollars for the state of Missouri. We can have better education, infrastructure, road repairs, and we can also see a reduction in our income tax, which is written into this amendment if you get into the details.
Bradshaw, good thing you didn't have your notes, right?
Yes, I think it's good we just talked.
Yeah, we just have a conversation. There you go. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
725 here at Big 550.